Hello everyone, this is the last shelf in this little Blu-ray wardrobe that I have. I have another shelf that's coming full, so there's gonna be much more to come, but this is the last one here for now. I'm gonna start with these two that I didn't reshelf into the other shelf just because the other shelf starts with J titles, and I just wanted to start with J, and these were the remainder of I. So it's The Island, which is a really good Michael Bay film. I know a lot of people don't like this film, but I think this is one of his strongest films. Nice little sci-fi dystopian film. And It Follows, which has Micah Monroe, who I've mentioned in the other videos that I love. And this is a really good horror film, kind of like a cautionary tale type horror film. Really good film by David Robert Mitchell, who's a good filmmaker. And the Funkos here is Lexa from The 100, who was a great character when she was on the show, but then the show, I think, just drifted away as soon as she died. And then Cosima from Orphan Black, which is a really good show. Tatiana Maslany is a really good actress. Now let's start with these box sets. The Man with No Name trilogy, which was one of my first Blu-rays, and this is from England. I know they re-released this in a smaller version as well here. This is for a few dollars more. Fistful of Dollars and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Fistful of Dollars, actually, sorry, for a few dollars more is my favorite in that series. Now the two versions of Taylor Swift's Lover, deluxe edition. Rome, the HBO series, which is fantastic. It was canceled way ahead of its time. Way ahead of where it should have been canceled, but the production costs were too much. But these two seasons, even though the second one is rushed, are fantastic and one of the HBO's best shows in my opinion. I got a foreign version of the National Lampoon's collection because the ones here, they just didn't do justice. Like, I don't think they even have a release with all four. So this has Vacation, European Vacation, Christmas Vacation, and Vegas Vacation. I like all of them. I think Christmas Vacation is my least favorite, but these are classic films. The Back to the Future trilogy, which is a really nice DG book mixed with the slipcover. Good series that I need to rewatch, but I remember liking all three quite a bit, even though 3 was the weakest for me. I got this box set recently, so this is the Ultimate Comedy Collection of Judd Apatow. I think did 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up But Not Forgetting Sarah Marshall, even though he produced that one. 40-Year-Old Virgin is very funny. Really great film. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, also very funny. Knocked Up, also very funny, but probably the least favorite in this one. I feel like it loses steam like halfway through, but this is a great series to have as well. Let's start here. Hopefully it's not too dark and we can all see what is going on here. So this is 2018 Halloween. I think Danny McBride wrote this one, which is so weird, but they did a great job with this film. I have no complaints about this. I'm looking forward to Halloween Kills. The only complaint I have right now is this steelbook. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think they could have done a better job with the steelbook. It's fine. Hardcore Henry, one of the best how many first-person films are there in life? This is completely shot like a first-person video game, and the action never lets up. This is tremendous. I love this film. I think Hardcore Henry is amazing, actually. The Hateful Eight, another amazing Clint. I keep saying Clint Eastwood when it's Quentin Tarantino, but Quentin Tarantino film. Really good film. I've only seen it once because it's very long, and this is the edition that comes with the kind of like you can open the slip cover, but being that it's in one of these plastic wraps, I won't show it, but this is a really good film. Now we can the Haunted Anthology. So let me talk about this. This is a Canadian release that has a few of my favorite films. So Insidious, the first one, pretty good film. I like it. The series kind of lost steam after the second for me, but I like that film. The Last Exorcism, which is a found footage type film about exorcism, obviously, but a really good film. I like that one. The second one was absolute shit. The Blair Witch Project, which I love, that's probably my favorite horror film of all time and one of the best found footage films of all time. I love The Blair Witch Project. I watch it every year. I kind of want it in a separate release, but I already have it, so what's the point? The Others, which is also a really good film with Nicole Kidman and a great twist in that film. That's a really good film. And 1408, another fantastic Stephen King adaptation with John Cusack. I love that film. 1408 is very close to being another 10 out of 10 film for me. As I mentioned in my earlier videos, I have films that are 10 out of 10 that I give 10 out of 10 to. And 1408 is very close. Heat, with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Val Kilmer. It's crazy to think that Al Pacino and Robert De Niro only have like 5 minutes of screen time together, but it's amazing Michael Mann film. That's a great film. One everyone should own. Heathers. This is kind of a steelbook that came out recently. Wonderful looking steelbook. Pretty good film. I like it. Young Winona Ryder is in that film. And so these are okay. Another Beatles film. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a big Beatles fan. So this is Help. Great film, great soundtrack. Nice little plot as well. Love the music. I love the Beatles in film. Anything Beatles I probably get on Blu-ray. Hellfest kind of feels like Funhouse from earlier, but this was actually a really good horror film that came out maybe last year or the year before, but a really solid killer and amusement park film. They can make a whole genre out of that one if they want to. Her. Amazing Spike Jonze directed film. I don't know if I have anything else from him, but this is such an amazing film. Very futuristic, very kind of relatable. Really good writing from Charlie Kaufman once again. Really good soundtrack by Arcade Fire, which is a band that I really like. Hereditary, batshit crazy film by Ari Aster, who is an amazing director. He directed Midsommar after this, and I think Midsommar is one of my favorite films of all time. But he did a great job with Hereditary, and Toni Collette is fantastic in this film. This is a really, really good film. Really good horror film. Another really good batshit type movie is High Rise, with Tom Hiddleston. This is such a crazy film. Really good to watch. I'm very annoyed with this release that I got used. It comes with a random barcode and somebody crossing things out and putting some stickers on here and stuff, but the film itself is fantastic. The Hills Have Eyes. This is the 2006 remake of the original, I believe it's Wes Craven film. I'm not that big on the original, and I like the remake better. That's why I have the remake. And it's a pretty good film, pretty good horror film. His Girl Friday, a really good Howard Hawks Criterion release right here. Nice little comedy. As soon as this came out on Criterion, I had to get it because I saw this in a film class and I really liked it. Yeah, I'm like an appreciator of all types of films. It doesn't matter which era, musical, drama, romantic comedy, whatever the case is. Like I love all types of films. As you can see, I have like a diverse collection. Hocus Pocus. They released a really nice steelbook of this. Best Buy released one recently, and I was so tempted to get it, but I have this really already nice steelbook of the book from the movies, from the movie, and it's a fantastic steelbook. Every Halloween, October 31st for like the past 10 years, I will watch this film and the original Halloween, and that won't change this year. I'm gonna watch this again this year. I love that film. And here comes an every Christmas classic, Home Alone. I'll watch it sometime in December every year. Home Alone 1 and 2 in a steelbook. Both of them are obviously really good. Macaulay Culkin, John Hughes film, really great hijinks and very rewatchable. I watched the third one recently. A lot of people shit on that one, but I actually liked it. And if it came out on Blu-ray, I would buy it, honestly. The fourth one I saw was horrible though, and I think it's another one. I don't know if I would ever want to watch that one. Eli Roth double feature of Hostel and Hostel Part 2. Hostel Part 1 is pretty good, pretty violent. Hostel Part 2 ups the violence, but not as good. Another double feature. I don't know if there's any theme to this one. Probably like an erotic double feature, but The Hot Spot is really good. I like that film, and Killing Me Softly is pretty good too. Heather Graham in that film. I like that one. Time for one of my top 3 horror films of all time, The House of the Devil. I will watch this every year. This is a film by Ty West, which is so amazing, so atmospheric, amazing soundtrack, amazing visuals, amazing plot. This is a 10 out of 10. Another 10 out of 10 for me. This is an amazing film. I will watch this every October. If you have not watched this film, you need to watch it because Ty West put himself on the map with that one. Triple pack, horror triple pack. A not very good horror triple pack. House of Wax, which I rewatched recently, and it's kind of a guilty pleasure. Return to House on Haunted Hill, which came with this pack, but I never seen before until I got it, and that was okay. Ghost Ship, which was pretty good. I like the opening sequence of Ghost Ship, and I think that's probably the best part of that film. I got it mostly for House of Wax, but Ghost Ship is acceptable as well. The Return to House on Haunted Hill is like, I could do without that one. How to Steal a Million, a classic Audrey Hepburn heist film. Really good. Twilight Time did a good job of releasing some of her films, and I'm glad they did because she's a national treasure. How to Be Single. Really great film, actually. Kind of like a rom-com with Dakota Johnson, Rebel Wilson. I don't know if a lot of people have seen this film, but this is amazing. I think a lot of the reason I like a film is when it takes place in New York, and this is one of those cases. But this is a fine film. I like that film. Another one I saw in an independent theater, which I thought was like, what the fuck, in the beginning, and then I rewatched it and I liked it a lot more. How to Talk to Girls at Parties, which is an Elle Fanning film where she's like an alien, and then like these aliens are coming around and stuff. It is super bizarre, but I like this film, and this is a nice release as well. I like that cover. The Human Centipede, the first sequence, bizarre horror film, but kind of funny. I'm not interested in completing the sequence, so I'm not gonna get 2 or 3. But the first one's like kind of watch that I would want to do again, maybe. Now we're gonna go through the Hunger Games series. Hunger Games 1. I have all the Best Buy Steel books. 1 is okay. I read all the books. 1, the film was okay. The books are better than the films, I think. Catching Fire is the best one. I think unanimously, I think a lot of people say Catching Fire is the best one, and that's just the truth. And then they did the bad job of splitting Mockingjays into 2 films. So there's Mockingjay Part 1 and then Mockingjay Part 2, and they feel so thin because they split the plot across 2 films. It drives me crazy when they do that and they don't have enough substance. So those 2 films suffer a lot from that. Overall, one of the better young adult series. Hustlers. I'm actually not a big fan of this film, but for some reason, like, the collector in me picked it up anyways. When I saw it in theaters, I didn't get that much of the hype. I thought J-Lo did a good job acting in it and stuff, but I thought it was just like all over the place type of film. I Am Legend, which is a really good survival end of the world type film with Will Smith. I have serious problems with the animation or like the effects on the monsters in this film. They look super dated and super bad, but otherwise the film is good. It has a few different endings, I think, and then one of them is better than the other. I Love You Man, one of the best buddy comedy films. Jason Segel and Paul Rudd. I'm a big fan of Paul Rudd. I think he is so funny. Just by being himself, he's so funny. This is such a good film. I'll watch it all the time. Such a good film. And then another really good film that I like is I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. I think a lot of the jokes in this wouldn't get by today, but Adam Sandler and Kevin James do a good job here. I'm generally not a big fan of Adam Sandler, but sometimes his films work for me. Like Click really works for me, and then this one too. The Illusionist, a really good film right here. Came out the same year as The Prestige, but it's kind of its own type of magic film. Edward Norton, Jessica Biel. This is a really good film. The only thing is, this is one of the worst Blu-rays that I own because I think it's one of those French-Canadian versions, and it doesn't have subtitles in it. So the problem with that is on my TV, I can't really hear what they're saying unless I make it really loud. And then when it's really loud, it gets really loud and it's annoying. So like, this was a terrible watch on this Blu-ray. But there's no point. I don't think I'll ever really watch it again. This was like a recent watch, so I'm not gonna watch it again. I'll just leave it there in the collection. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I kind of do like watching this every October as well. This is a nice teen horror film from the slasher era in the late 90s with Jennifer Love Hewitt. I like that film. And I also like that sequel, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, so I have that one as well. I know they released I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, which I also liked. If they want to put that on Blu-ray, I would not mind because I would buy it. I Spit on Your Grave double feature. I know they're coming out with a box set of I Spit on Your Grave, which I probably won't get because I already have it here. And then I Spit on Your Grave, the remake. The remake was crap. I Spit on Your Grave is a good revenge type film. To this day, still good. Here's the film that really got me into Margot Robbie as a actress. I thought she was fantastic in this film. I was critical of her work earlier, prior to this, but she blew it out of the park as Tanya Harding in this film. This is such a good film. Deserves more praise. I wish she could have won an Oscar even. I mean, that year probably had a lot of great actresses anyways, but that was good. My favorite film by, oh my god, I'm gonna blank on the director, Barry Jenkins. He directed Moonlight and then If Beale Street Could Talk, but I like If Beale Street Could Talk more. This is such an artistic film with great music, great setup, great acting, based on a James Baldwin book, which I really like. In Bruges, a film by the director of Seven Psychopaths, whose name I don't know right now. I'm not even gonna try to bother to figure it out either. Really good film, kind of like a dark comedy with Colin Farrell. I also have Seven Psychopaths as well. The director of that film did 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri as well. I can't remember their name. Inception, a really good Christopher Nolan film. Very smart film, one that I need to rewatch, but it is pretty long. I mean, sometimes that is daunting, but Inception is a good film. The Incredible Hulk, probably often regarded as Marvel's worst film, but it's still a good film. And the thing I like about this is it comes in that green case. I know they came out with steel books of this film, but I didn't need a steel book because I like that green case, and it kind of has like a bit of a lenticular feel to it as well. I don't mind that film at all. Edward Norton really missed out on being Hulk. I don't know what happened. Maybe negotiation with pay or something. Hard to work with. I don't know, but he missed out on that. Mark Ruffalo was good. Inglourious Bastards, another Quentin Tarantino classic about killing Nazis. This is a really good film. I need to rewatch it though. I don't know if I'm going in the right order. Ingrid Goes West, such an awkward film with Aubrey Plaza and Elizabeth Olsen. I love Elizabeth Olsen and O'Shea Jackson Jr. Such a weird film, but very funny, very uncomfortably funny, that one. Inherent Vice, I got this abroad in England. Really good Paul Thomas Anderson film that I need to rewatch to really understand, but it is a trip, that one. Here's a unique release from, I don't know, an Asian country. But it was at Walmart, which is so weird. But Inland Empire, which is another David Lynch film that is not out on Blu-ray, and I love that film. It's like 3 hours long with Laura Dern, but it's fantastic. I love David Lynch. I love everything he does, and I had to own this. I didn't care where I had to go, as long as it worked here, as long as it worked in this country, I was gonna get it, and this works here, so I'm happy. That's a 10 out of 10. Here's another 10 out of 10. The Innkeepers, which is by Ty West, who did House of the Devil. I don't even know where it is. There it is, House of the Devil. Really great film with Sarah Paxton. I love Sarah Paxton. And this is also a really great horror film about a haunted hotel. Ty West knocked it out of the park with those two, and this is a 10 out of 10 October classic for me. Inside Llewyn Davis, which is a Coen Brothers film based on Oscar Isaac and his struggling musician career, which is a really good film, and I like the Criterion, and the cat is the best part of that film. Really great film, that one. Speaking of great, Inside Out, which is one of the best Pixar films to date, and I really like this lenticular. I know they came out with steelbooks of this, but I like this copy. Really good emotional film, actually. Smart film. Interstellar. Here's one that if a nice steelbook comes out, and I think it did, actually, I'll get it because I don't like this copy. But about this film, I saw it once in theaters and hated it, hated it, and then I rewatched it on a plane back to the U.S. and I loved it. Like, I watched it again and it packed a bigger emotional punch for me, and like to this day I really like this film and the soundtrack of this film as well. So that's a good one that Christopher Nolan should get praise for, actually. And it's one of the rare instances where I hated a film and then I rewatched it and I loved it, and I love when that happens. It does not happen very often though. The Invisible Man, which is kind of like a modern retelling of the classic story, but this is more sci-fi oriented, but it's fantastic because Elizabeth Moss is in this. I'm a big fan of her from her Mad Men days and then Handmaid's Tale, of course, but she's great in this, and this is a really great film. I've rewatched that already. That's a good one. Another really good one is The Invitation, which is I think this was on Netflix, with Logan Marshall Green and the guy from Game of Thrones, whose name I don't even know. But this is a really great film, and this is my only Draft House release. So let me show you. This comes with like a nice book, 2 discs, and then like you can switch the cover and then do the movie poster as well. But I just rewatched this like literally last week, and then I switched the cover to this one because I like it better like this. But Draft House, you're doing a good job with these releases because that's a nice release, and it's a really great film. Iron Man 1 on Steelbook. These Steelbooks are pretty recent. Like they just released them like a year ago or 2 years ago, and I got to complete a lot of the Marvel by pre-ordering these Steelbooks. Iron Man 1 started it all. This is 3. Okay, so 3, and then oh my god, I don't even have them in order. Okay, so I think I showed 2 first. Okay, so this is 2, 1, and 3. So 1, 2, and then 3. 2 is the worst. 3 is okay on a rewatch, and 1 is pretty good. But 1 feels kind of dated to me because Marvel can accomplish so much more with their films, you know. The original Stephen King's It, which is a childhood classic for me. I love this miniseries, and this comes with both parts. The second part is weaker, but the steelbook is pretty nice. This is another film that I kept getting newer versions until I finally got a steelbook. And then last but not least in this entire shelf is It, Chapter 1, which is the remake, which is really good. This film really delivered. I thought it was fantastic. And then It Chapter 2, which was unfortunately pretty bad. Like, I could not get into this film. It felt like the the scares were kind of retreading the same ground. And it felt like very low on ideas, even though it has a better cast. Like, you have Jessica Chastain and James McAvoy in it, but even they can't really save the film. So this was like absolutely a disappointment. Whatever year it came out. Was it last year? I don't even know. I don't know the years anymore since COVID, but it was one of the worst sequels to such a great film for me. Well, anyways, that is it for this entire shelf, which took like 2 hours to do, but I have another shelf coming with more films, and I will get to that next. Thank you.